Welcome to Nobody Knows with Joe Coffee, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
Hey, what's up? I'm Richie with Denton Radio, and I'm here with
Allison.
Okay, so are you familiar with Joe Coffee?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, let me ask you this. The Denton, are you from Denton?
I've lived here for about a year and a half.
A year and a half. And do you know the Denton slogan currently?
I do not.
Denton, a fine place.
Oh, okay.
So they're trying to change it to Denton, the Northern Star. What do you think about that?
I like it better than the old one.
Yeah? A fine place versus a Northern Star. It's a little better.
Yeah, it shines a little brighter.
What would you change if you would, or if you could change it? What do you think in this year that you've been here?
Denton's a pretty welcoming place, so probably like everyone's welcome. It's a fun.
Denton, everyone's welcome.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're.
Hey, what's up? It's Richie with Denton Radio. I'm with
David Sims.
David, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Are you a fan of Denton Radio?
I've just
Checked it out a little bit.
Yeah, a little from time to time.
Are you a Joe Coffee fan?
I've never really heard of him.
No. He has a show called Nobody Knows with Joe Coffee. Today on the show, he has Daniel Magden, the comedian. Are you familiar with him?
Sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
I can't be for sure.
How long you been in Denton?
I've lived here all my life.
All your life. You know the Denton slogan then, right? Denton, a fine place.
I've heard a lot of different slogans.
What do you think? They're actually trying to change it from Denton, a fine place, to Denton, the true star. What do you think about that?
Well, it's certainly becoming starish.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to Dallas.
What do you feel better, though? What sounds better? Denton, a fine place, or Denton, the true star? What sounds more like?
I don't know. Maybe the true star probably sounds a little, I don't know.
Arrogant?
Yeah, I guess it's a good word.
Right.
That's a good word.
We already have enough problem with that in this town.
I think so, yeah. I think other cities probably perceived it to be that way sometimes, but I don't know.
What about all this construction on the courthouse? It's a good idea, bad idea?
Oh, it's a good idea. Anytime that they're doing something to upgrade or you know, I mean, because the streets themselves are, you know, to me, I mean, they're in constant upgrade status.
What about all the bars kind of upgrading? Good idea, bad idea?
Well, it's okay. I mean, it didn't used to be like this, you know. It was very traditional, you know, years ago when I was growing up. Now it's becoming kind of a hot spot, you know, almost like a, you know, I would loosely compare it to maybe 6th Street in Austin or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I think that it's bringing all of the what's the word I'm looking for? All the establishments that were here are having to close down because the property values are going up because of the bars.
Yeah. So it's good.
In some ways it's good, in some ways it's not so good.
Awesome. Okay, it's Richie. I'm here with Denton Radio. I'm here with
Kirk Simmons.
Kirk Simmons. Are you a Denton Radio fan? Have you heard of it?
Hadn't heard of it.
No? What about Joe Coffee? Are you familiar with him and his show?
No, not that either.
Okay, what about the Denton slogan? They're trying. Do you remember the old one? Denton, a fine place.
No.
They're trying to change it to Denton. It's like home.
You know, I think the last slogan I heard was Denton, top of the Golden Triangle. That's how long I've been around here.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, man.
Okay, sure enough, Rich.
The weirdest part about doing these interviews is feeling like I'm stalking a prey. All right, so I'm Richie with Denton Radio. I'm here with
Cindy Rayburn
and
Colin Rayburn.
Okay, so are y'all familiar with Joe Coffee?
No.
The comedian? No. What about Daniel Magden? He's on the show today.
No, sorry.
No? Okay, no. It's all good. Okay, so they're recently changing it from Denton, a fine place.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
To Denton, everyone's welcome.
Yeah.
But it's not. A lot of people are saying that it's like trying to welcome too many people or something. And we already...
Everyone's not welcome. We just want to welcome a few.
I don't know. That was the alternative. That's what, like, other people are making memes about that. And like, but some other ones were like the Northeastern Star, Denton, the Northeastern Star, which that doesn't really have a message behind it. But a lot of people...
That makes it sound like we're in the Northeast, though. We're not in the Northeast.
Yeah. It's like the star thing or whatever. But do you like art?
Yeah.
You want to come help me save a bird?
Sure.
I don't know.
I actually did not know that.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Perfect.
Oh, I did not know. I did not know that.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Hey. Now just go wop, 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 wop.
Wop, 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 wop.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
1, 2, a 1, 2. How do you do? I don't know how to count.
Well, let me see. So what's after 3?
It's a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
And nobody ever will. Thank y'all.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Nobody knows Joe Coffee.
Absolutely.
Do you know his name?
Oh man, I forgot his name. That makes me
Somebody's
feel so
the other
bad.
day was
We're
like
talking
really
about the
loud.
guy who does the fiddle in the
Yeah,
intro.
this guy
It's
was
two
like-
guys though. It's two. That's two.
Yeah, the guy on the fiddle, I don't know his name. We know the guy who plays banjo.
It was actually
Banjo.
Charlie Daniels. Man, I feel so bad for forgetting his
No,
name.
one day recently someone was like,
a nice
yeah,
dude.
dude, I was talking to Clifton the other day, and they were talking about him, and I was like, I didn't know his name
Is
was
his name
Astor.
Cliff? Wait, what?
I don't remember the name. I'm making
You
up
just
names.
changed the name.
No,
within,
I'm making up names.
Within
like,
30 seconds, you changed the name on me.
It's for the script. It's all in the script.
But
We're all
Cletus plays
scripted.
fiddle really well. That's what we're trying to say. Yeah, whoever he's a nice dude. He's always at the open mics and stuff. He always like talks to me a long time, so I feel terrible.
The guy that was playing the fiddle, I actually really like that guy.
Okay.
It's really cool.
Any more hot takes on the fiddle or the man behind the fiddle? Fiddler on the roof.
He's a nice guy.
He's a solid guy.
He's a really solid guy. Like he's the guy that you would have go pick
Okay.
up your dry cleaning.
All
And you
right,
know
well,
he's gonna.
What a strong start, everyone, to
Fiddling.
episode 25.
This is post Halloween. This
25
is
post Halloween episode.
Still feels
so spooky. Here, as always, nobody knows episode 25. I'm Joe Coffey, your host, with my co-host Richie Flo. How is it going, my
episode
guy?
25, dude.
And our special guest today. Special guest. They don't
not the
normally
first time
get
I've been
that
called
title.
special.
I know.
Mr. Blue Pocket himself.
It's elementary school all over
It's all
again.
over. Don't worry, we're not going to put you in remedial radio after this. Everyone, our guest, local comedian and a friend of mine, Daniel Magden. Yes,
Howdy,
Danny.
fellas. I didn't know the radio still existed.
I
so
know,
I'm
I
excited.
know. You have to type in a link now to get to it. That's how it works. So what's been up, man? Did you do post-Halloween episode? Did you do anything for Halloween? Or?
No,
Me
I
neither.
I thought about doing stuff for Halloween. I got
Mhm.
invited to a lot of stuff, and I was like, I'll be there, and then I just never went, and that's the story of my life.
It gets too late at some point.
Eventually, I'm like 9 o'clock. That's not when
I'm not
people
going
leave the
outside.
house.
Yeah, and you just what? You just chill in your house and watch Stranger
I
Things
played
all weekend?
I played an older version of NBA 2K.
Okay,
So
what
So
year?
NBA
what
19.
year?
2K
Hey, because the meter goes up for every 2 years that it's old. Like the sad meter goes up one.
Absolutely, it was 2K60, so it came out in
Oh
2015.
my God! So you're sad. You're sad.
It was sad. No, because it's because I feel like I'm changing the future. Like in my version of 2016, the Knicks win it all.
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
only time the Knicks
Okay.
will win
So
anything. I feel
it's
like
your
when I
own
win
alternate
it,
reality.
I never took you for a sports person or B a video game.
He's a basketball guy.
person.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a basketball guy, but
Do you actually play b-ball?
I did, and then I gave up as soon as I realized that I would have. I was like,
You have a joke about that.
yeah. I used to talk about this on stage. I haven't done it in a while, but like I was dead convinced I was gonna be in the NBA.
Yeah.
I
You
looked
could've
the
been.
exact same. No, but I didn't even. Most kids decide that when they're
Did
like
anyone
5.
else? Hey, did anyone else believe in this pipe dream
No
with you?
one,
Did you
not
have
a
anybody
sing-
feeling?
no one
it?
even,
so that's
no one
almost
even tried to support
Look,
me.
like
so
why?
that's
Because
funny.
your height? Because think about
I was bad at basketball.
But
I
think
just
about
wasn't good
it
at
wasn't
it.
even
Tweety
the
Bird
height.
played for
No.
Toon Squad, and he's like 3 inches.
No, it was like I set the record in my high school for the most turnovers in a game ever. And turnovers like when you travel or you throw the ball out of the court. Like I would get the ball. I stayed in the game for 20 minutes because they tried so hard to just get me to score one
Yeah.
basket.
Uh-huh.
We were losing by 40 points.
Yeah.
I played on a couple teams. I had a YMCA team that we won 0 games. You played 10 games, right? And the last game of the season, we were up by, I think it was we had to get one. We were tied, so they end them in ties because it's YMCA basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No
they
one's
don't.
got time
No
for
one's
that.
no one's got time for overtime.
Shuffleboard's coming in
exactly.
20 minutes. You got to make time.
Very soon. And so I just remember it coming down to me and shooting free throws. And I was a baseball guy. I wasn't much of a basketball. I could drive to the lane layup, but shots like jump shots, free throws, like that's scary. When it's on the line, you haven't won any games. I made one of those free throws and we won, and it was just like the biggest basketball moment of my life.
No,
I unnecessarily wore a headband.
I played.
Cool.
I played in a church league.
Oh, you had the sleeve? See, I was an Allen Iverson guy, so the sleeve
Never
and
made
the
a
headband.
shot.
Never made
Never
a shot.
made a single
But you looked
shot.
cool.
I played in a church league, and basically the kids who were like 10 to 11 were on a team, and then the kids that were like 13 and 14 were on a team. And we would play each other twice a week.
I would love to see you
No,
play
it was
sports.
so bad. Now, here's the thing.
Like, the thought of Danny playing basketball is funny, but
Yeah.
just for some reason, you playing any sport
Well, when
competitively, too. You
I
being
played
competitive is
baseball.
the
Hey, come
thing.
on, man. Does
I played-
anyone have to win?
I played
Richie's not a
baseball
competitive
back
guy.
when it was legal for the coach to be the pitcher.
What?
Right?
Is that a thing?
The coach was the pitcher at my baseball.
Okay.
And I was in the outfield.
What do you mean he was the pitcher? It wasn't like he would underhand to
He
you
would
guys?
underhand it to us.
Oh, okay.
Like some kid was trained to be pitcher. Like, not today, Jimmy.
Yeah,
it's
it was,
my
it was
time
him.
to
It was him.
shine.
He would like strike us out and feel good about it, you know. And I remember like being really
that was
sad.
his moment to shine,
Yeah,
not yours.
I felt really sad because they would always put me in the outfield, and we're like 7 or 8. Like there's no reason for outfield, and I was just the whole time I was out there, I was just thinking like, maybe my parents will give me a turkey leg after this, and I would just sit down and play in the grass. Then I played basketball, and I was like. I was really big into flips when I was a kid. Like I never could do any like backflips.
You
or
just
anything.
liked them?
I love
the
flips.
idea.
Like
my
the
biggest
idea of flips.
One of my biggest regrets in life is never actually learning a proper backflip.
Did you at least have a trampoline?
I regret not
No.
being able to flip and not being able to dunk a basketball.
Yeah,
Those
if
are
I
two
could just
things
flip-
I would like to
if
do.
I could
Back to
flip
Danny's
right
thing,
now-
I would love to dunk.
I remember praying to God one day before a show. I was like, God, I know I don't score a lot of baskets.
I know we don't talk often.
Yeah.
Or win a lot of games.
Yeah.
But if you could just let me dunk one
Same
time.
thing.
single
I remember
moment.
the same thing. I was
Never
like,
happened.
please let my dad show up for this next game.
That's kind of how I am with the guitar too. Although I know I could teach myself the guitar, I know I just never will.
It's
you know
not
what I
gonna
mean? So
happen.
it feels like a thing I could never.
That's how I am about video games.
So anyway, backflips though.
Yeah. So I love the idea of doing
Lean
flips.
in on that mic.
And I never could do flips. But But so I would do these little round off things that I kind of made up. I could probably still do them.
Right in here. Yeah.
I don't think anyone will be able to hear that.
Yeah, so I would do these flips, and that's what I was doing during the basketball. My mom would be like, "Stop flipping, stop!" And I'd be like, "No," and like doing these little like half cartwheels.
I would love to see you attempt a cartwheel because I know they weren't full cartwheels.
No way. I know.
You had the lazy man's cartwheel where like your knees are still kind of bent and you're still like not really doing.
I remember
a full
thinking in my head I was doing a
rotation.
backflip,
Yeah.
and then seeing the video and realizing I was just like tumbling over and rolling,
kind of falling, like
frontwards.
really.
This
really,
is cool, guys.
Yeah.
An awesome
Because I would
fall.
use it in like. This girl, I liked her, and I walked up to her, and I did this.
And you would just flip in front of her?
I said, "Hey, I'm head over heels for you," and I would just do this little flip.
Dude, what if it was that easy? What if we were like, we're animals, but what if we had such animalistic? Because that's how like birds are. You know what I mean? They like fluff their feathers, right? Like the female or the male, like they're attracted to like that certain. What if that's all it took just to learn? You could get any girl.
Just one good trick.
You
got it.
You
One
just got to do
double-breasted
one
vest.
good flip, and that's it. And then
It
you're
works.
in.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it does work.
Some people have that one trick. Some people can throw a football really far,
Right,
And,
and
then they're not going to have problems.
Well, there's big paychecks that come with throwing footballs if you're good at it, as opposed to even if you're good at comedy. Sometimes those checks don't.
The quarterback in my high school had a lot more girlfriends than I did.
Well, yeah, I believe that.
because he had the trick. I don't even know who our quarterback was.
You should have invested all that basketball time into football time.
I would have been good at football, I think. I could run from somebody trying to tackle me. I'd be amazing at that.
Yeah, that was lunch.
The little guys, those are the hardest guys to tackle. If they're fast enough. I mean,
because I'm a coward. I'm good at
you're good at
Not
running.
that you're a little guy.
Good at running away.
Oh, I am.
Okay, well,
No, I don't
anyways.
know.
How tall are you? What's your height?
I'm like 5'7".
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a normal
Is that like a
sized
sensitive
Irishman.
thing to you?
Not at
No.
all. Like I've been the same.
You don't have that short man.
But
I've never even heard you talk about that on stage.
I've been
which
the
a
same
lot of
height
short
since I was
comedians.
13.
Yeah, a lot of short comedians talk about that. I don't think I've ever heard
You do kind of look like Who do you look like? The cartoon.
I look like every white
Fallout
person
Boy.
with red hair who's ever lived.
Fallout Boy is a game, or is that a movie?
No, Fallout is the game. Fallout Boy is a band.
You look like the boy from Fallout, the game.
Pip-Boy?
I don't know. I never played it.
I've seen shirts
Fallout,
and stuff.
logo.
I just seen it and was like, "What? Daniel has shirts? Did he get these printed through Mikey B?"
I wish.
So nothing
Shout
on
out Mikey
Halloween.
B.
Yeah,
You just
shout out
No,
MB.
I just,
gamed out.
Yes, and I'm like.
Did you take the Knicks to the? Did you win the NBA
No,
championship?
I lost.
Okay, so you didn't
I
change
got
history.
really bad at it.
History was pretty much the same.
Yeah, it was.
So moral of the story, it's like that movie Time Machine with Johnny Depp. You can't.
Moral of the story: go get some friends. Go if it's a
Yeah,
holiday.
go do a thing.
Be
Go get
a
Sims.
person.
And you're playing this on Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation
2?
4 that I borrowed from my uncle because I don't
PlayStation
even have my
4?
own PlayStation.
Oh my gosh!
I
Where
worked
have
all
been?
night. I worked all night last night, and then I tried to go have friends. Like I tried to go to a party after work, already tired. Like
That's never
3:00.
a good thing.
You know what I mean? And everyone was already like way too out of there. There
Hey,
was
it's
like,
Joey's time to shine.
Yeah, no, and it was just like really. They were aggressively loud punk music while they were watching Casper and just like being really drunk
At the
And I
same
was like,
time?
Yeah. And so I was like, oh man, I should. No, my whole weekend was. I saw you yesterday.
saw you last
actually,
night.
yeah, you performed last night.
Yeah, I did
At the
3
backyard on
hours.
Bell.
I did 3 hours of magic at Game Changers,
Yeah.
and as soon as I was done, I'm like leaving, making a
How do you
beeline
do
to
3
East Side.
hours of magic?
Walking around a
it's-
How many
table.
He
tricks
walks
do you
around
have?
and then
Oh,
does
okay.
tricks to different groups
Yeah.
So
of
you just do
people.
the same act for a whole different
Right.
tables.
What if
That's-
comedy?
that's
What if
I
essentially-
wish
mobile
it was that easy.
mobile comedy?
Oh my god.
Get paid by the
think-
hour. Go table to table. Do your
Yeah.
15 like you're a waiter. You know what I mean? Just
Well, here's
sit
the
there.
thing, though. Here's the thing, because I
That would be
love,
tough. That would be
I
tough.
love magic, right? It's like one of my favorite things, and I like study it, and I learn as much as I can, and I practice and practice and practice. But after that, I don't know if I could do that many times. Like after the third hour, I was like, well, I have paper cuts. And then I leave. As soon as I'm leaving, someone's like, "Hey, this is Richie. Mom, this is Richie.
I mean, you
he's
left-
the magician. Show him. Can you show my mom some magic?" And I was like, "I'm not gonna show anybody."
You left
Like,
with some notoriety though and some money, so I mean
Yeah.
you can't complain. Like for me, fathoming like the idea of doing because in stand up the only way you do 3 hours is if you're
Yeah.
on stage and you do
3
3
hours. I've
I
worked for
got
longer
paid.
than 3
I got paid
hours.
pretty handsomely, and also I got
Handsomely.
about.
You would define
30
it as handsomely.
It's pretty handsome.
Like how handsome? Give me a male. Not the. Don't give me the number. Give me a male
like
celebrity.
a Crispin Glover
Which one's Crispin Glover?
from Rats or from
Rats. It
Rats?
doesn't sound
What's
scary.
it? No,
does
no.
it?
What is it? He's from.
me
He's the
see.
guy.
Crispin Glover.
Crispin
Let's-
Glover.
Hang on, we're about to look him up.
He's
I
a
don't
good
even
looking
care.
guy.
How do you spell that? Like
CRISPIN.
That's such a great. I went to.
That's-
Not that it's
awesome.
relevant. I went to college with a guy named Crispin. That's a hilarious name.
It's hilarious.
It takes confidence to name your kid
Wait.
Crispin.
Okay, so
He's
you did okay. I mean, you did great.
Younger Crispin
Jake, can
Glover.
Jake, can we pull up a picture on the screen of Crispin Glover? So,
You got.
so Richie's homeless now.
That's like my taste. That's my taste.
So Richie got dinner for 3 hours of magic.
Yeah, that's my taste. I don't know. We all have different tastes.
So-
Two McDoubles for Richie.
Yeah, you got paid in Philly cheesesteak fries.
Look at him. He's beautiful, man.
Crispin Glover. What made you name drop Kristen?
'Cause
what's he
look at
from?
that.
Oh my goodness! All right, well that's a handsome angle. You know, if you just push your forward or
It
your
looks
head,
like
your
his
forehead
face is denting in.
Yeah, if you push your forehead towards the man, that's a bad one.
That's-
Oh god,
That's from.
Wait, what
Is
does
that
this
Back to
say?
the
What,
Future?
what
Back to
is,
the
what
Future,
does the
yeah.
headline read? Crispin Glover's still angry about Back to the Future. Why was he
Yeah.
in Back to the Future?
Yeah, but they were
Who
started
is he?
erasing
Oh, is
his
he the-
character.
He's the
The
dad.
dad, right? Oh, is that that's a picture of him right there, right? In the tux, is that his prom tux?
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
that's where he's about to hit Biff.
Oh man, that is.
But I was gonna say on top of
that's such an
getting
obscure,
Crispin Glover
That was
money.
such an obscure reference.
Sorry.
I'm so proud of you.
Sorry, but on top of getting the Crispin Glover money,
Let's not call it Crispin Glover money.
I got-
because I still think you're making Crispin. Actually, you know what? What's he? You might be making Crispin Glover money to be honest.
If
But
he's
I
this
got-
angry about Back to the Future, he
yeah.
might not be
he
doing
might not
well.
have that much money.
he was also he was on Arliss too. He was I don't know.
I don't know what
Anyway.
that is.
Arliss.
Arliss?
It's also
What
a
is
very
that?
obscure show. That
What is Arliss?
It's like a. Look it up.
Teach me
Okay.
about the 90s, Richie.
No, so here's the
Papa?
thing: is I also got 30 new followers on Handle. So at the same thing.
What is Handle?
What is Handle?
What is...
Are you
like,
serious or are you trolling
I'm
right
making
now?
up handles.
Okay,
Handles
you're making up.
But it sounds fun.
It sounds real. At this point, I don't know anymore.
So you normally have good stories. You normally have good stories after like doing anyone that stuck out.
Okay,
in this
so
group?
I was actually telling Jake this. Like, there were these 4 like frat guys, right? And like right off the bat,
Always the best audience.
I'm like thinking like
for anything.
These
For
guys
anything.
already like hate me because I've never rushed. You know, like they just don't have respect for me.
Well, and like we were talking about before I hate to interrupt, like we were talking about before the thing when we were talking about the intro before the show.
Yeah.
Like how you look the way you do, but you have this very strong, like you don't look like you're going to come on as confident as you do with people. So they're already like intrigued, but they want you to fail. You know what I mean?
For
they
sure.
want
So
you to,
right off the bat,
people want you to let them down because off front, your first impression of you is
Yeah.
like, oh wow, this guy's like.
Well, most people when I
got
say,
it.
"Hey, can I show y'all some magic?" They're like, "Sure, okay." This guy goes. I walk up to them and say, "Hey guys, can I show y'all some magic?" He's like, "Yeah, show us your tricks." So right off the bat, I'm like, "Okay,
I
this
don't like
guy
this
hates
person.
me."
Do you
So
you
I
hate
like-
that when they're called tricks? Is that like a thing?
Do
I
your
don't
little
know.
trick, Richie.
It is weird because I don't like
Because there's certain things in comedy I hate that are similar.
magic trick is like not like, but I don't want to say like, "Hey, watch, I'm about to do a magical experiment." You know, I don't like taking. I just don't like to call it anything. I just say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna do a cool thing."
It's a thing I can do that you can't.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. Try it. Look what
Yeah.
I'm doing. So I did it. I was doing it for them, and at first they just kind of aggressive, like real, like show us your trick. And so I made a joke admiring one of the people who seemed like the most alpha of the group, and he started laughing.
Let's just call him Chad.
Yeah.
So,
Chad.
you picked out.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is the guy that they're all like looking at him for his opinion.
Back
on
to
everything.
animalistic instinct, that is such like a thing. Is that normal within? I mean, I would say that's pretty normal within it. Even a group,
there's
even a
certain-
group
Yeah.
of comics.
There's always the one.
Even a group of comics. If the one guy laughs, that like, then everyone
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah.
they're
Well,
like,
this
oh, he
could-
thought it was funny.
it's
Like if you're hanging out with the headliner and he laughs at a joke, everyone
Absolutely.
laughs at the
And
club.
then
It's knowing those little things, right? So if it's like, for instance, if I go to a guy and a girl sitting down, I have to play to the guy and befriend him, because if I just walk up to a guy and a girl and I start showing this girl this very
Then he
impressive
feels-
stuff, they start being like, "What is this?
They
Oh,
tense
it's just
up.
a trick, babe. He just has 2 quarters and some string."
He
And I'm
tenses
like,
up because he wants you
"It's
to
a
fail
card
there
trick."
too. He doesn't feel like he's on your side. Of
Yeah,
things.
so
No
if I
one's
go,
ever
he
left
feels
their
like you're
boyfriend for a
using
magician.
magic.
Like,
So, but
he
they
feels
would.
like they might. Some
But
of the
sometimes
stories he tells about.
Sometimes I'll be like, I even have to be like, "Hey, dude. I mean, hey, you probably know how I do it, right? It's all cool, but
Make 'em
she thinks
feel
it's cool."
like they're
they
like-
have no clue how I do it. They're like, "Yeah, that's
Wow.
I do
oh,
that
babe.
trick all the time, man.
Yeah,
First-
babe. Oh, I get it, babe. Me and him are magician buddies."
I was gonna call you the first misogynistic magician, but that isn't the case at all. Actually, when you look back on
No, dude. Like,
scantily dressed women being thrown in boxes and swords stabbed through them.
no, I'm like the least of that. I'm like trying to get the girls out of these boxes and out of these with these swords.
This is really unnecessary.
you're
Who?
like
I'm
a
trying to.
superhero.
I'm anti-sword. I don't know if I can make this kind of statement on the air, but I'm anti-sword.
Oh yeah, that's a strong
Jake,
political statement.
If I can't,
You
if I'm not
believe-
invited
you
next week,
believe
I
males.
understand completely. I get it. I know I'm taking a hard stance right now, but
you believe? Wait, Richie, you believe in very strong sword control?
yeah, we need sword laws.
Okay.
No, if you need a sword, you should buy a sword. You should be able to-
Oh wow.
We can talk about this
Conflicting.
elsewhere. I don't want to
For
come
magic,
Conflicting.
only for magic. It's
What if we
okay.
made it harder for people to get swords because
Yeah.
they're so accessible?
Well, I don't want where you can get like a bunch of swords at once.
What if downtown mini mall just took like you had to take a psych test?
There's
just to make
one
sure.
sponsor we'll never have. They're like, well, we did like the show, but that one guy's
one-
anti-sword, and well, we only have swords.
Are you pro throwing star? They've got plenty of those.
Nunchuck, anything?
Who knew that Denton would have a sword store?
A sword store.
Those are our
could buy-
antiques. Those are the antiques
Hey,
we
is it,
have.
is it sword or sword?
It's sword.
sword.
It's spelled
do you-
sword.
This is getting more fascinating by the
Yeah.
second. It's
Well, it's spelled sword, and it's after it's
sword, connive. It's all the
S-word.
same
Yeah,
thing.
I just call it S-word.
what is that? What's that?
A connive- a connive-
KNSW?
Conniving. Conniving.
I meant to
kniving.
say knife because that's the only knife. I don't know. I
Conniving
can't pronounce
knives
things
would be
either.
a great knife store name. Conniving knife. That sounds really
Who
violent.
would need a knife store? Who would?
That's a thing.
There are
Is
You've
that
been
a
to the
thing?
mall, right?
There's
They
a
have
knife
Yeah.
store where their sign is a big, one of those pocket.
As a
Pocket
poor
knife.
person, I can't
a pocket
fathom
knife.
which
I'm not a
stores like
traditional
that.
man. I don't think I ever will own a pair of steel-toed boots. I don't think I'll ever need to go to a Lowe's or enjoy going to a Lowe's. And I also don't think I'm one of the guys to ever carry a knife around. You know, like the guy with the knife, and it's like, I even see the girl, like, and you see it, like, sticking out. Like, what do you need that for?
When you have
how many boxes are you on?
When you're wearing
how many packages are you breaking into throughout
when
a
you
day?
have a fade mark around your knife, that's
like it's been there for. It's up there for fashion. It's kind of like when you finally move the TV and the dust around it, you know, is like there when you're moving.
I've had each knife comes with a pair of pants. That's the way I see it.
So my brother used to sell knives. He used to sell bread knives, right? And at this place, they gave him this line to use, right? And essentially, they would like have a knife. Let me use these scissors. You would have a knife, and you would say, and it would go ding, right? And you'd say, "Do you know what that is?" And they'd be like, "No." And you go, "That's actually a note on. That's actually a note. It's a B sharp because this knife's always gonna be sharp."
What?
Oh, I hate you so much.
No, that was a real line.
I would love for them to go to like some actual musicians. I was like, I don't think that's right at all. That's an A flat.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was a real note.
Measuring the decibels.
But they sold knives that way.
No, they didn't.
Has anyone
Is
ever
that a real
actually
thing?
bought the
Yeah,
knives the
I never know
door-to-door
anymore.
salesmen's like come with?
I don't know. I tried to.
My dad did. He bought the.
I tried to
Subway
get that
knives.
job one time because my friend was it that what is it, Vector Knives?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever?
I've gotten a couple like calls from them, and each time I didn't know it was the knife place. I was like, oh, these people wanted to hire me. I don't remember calling them.
It was like freshman year in high school or whatever. I got the job, and then my parents had to sit me down and be like, "This is not what you want to do.
I mean,
this is not gonna work."
I moved to Denton
I had a buddy
with the hopes to work at Vacation Tour and Travel.
Yeah, look at you now.
Look at me now. I'm
doing radio for free.
And
we're not getting paid.
Starting a ranch.
Where's my check, Joey?
So, yeah, we have a video of Danny, which we should totally
boy.
show because I just realized that we always forget to do the video because we don't really have that.
It's fine. They'll tune out as soon as they hear it.
Where's this out? Where's this out? Where's
this
this
was
at?
in Fort Worth Hyenas the last time I did one with their show.
I have a
You're really
question for
dressed
you.
up here.
I have a question. I mean, a question.
You look like a
with a
Westworld character.
Because I was because another comic was hosting that night, and he called me that morning. He's like, "Hey man, I feel really sick. Could you come host this for me?" I was like, "Sure, this is my big break." So I got all dressed up in the vest, and I got there, and he was there in like a full suit. I was like, "What are you doing, man?" You asked me. I was like, "Oh, I was just a little hungover. You're good."
Right.
Was it Deadwood night?
It looks very. You look very Deputy Dan.
That's the same outfit the first time I did a stand-up show when I was like 15.
All right. Well, let's play it.
Is that a?
Let's play it so people watching and listening can see and hear. This is Daniel Magden, Fort Worth Hyenas jokes. People.
I was walking to work the other day, and I got stopped by a crackhead. And that's generally a pretty exciting time, right? You know, you always get a good story out of crackheads. But like this one was different. Like this one had an agenda. I was walking by, he pops out of like the manhole or wherever he was sleeping. He goes, "Hey man, your zipper's undone. Better me tell you than someone you don't know." That was my day up, guys. I stood there for 20 minutes in this Arby's parking lot trying to figure out who this mystery crackhead was. I thought about it. I said, "Dad, is that you?" "Papa?" Guys, that's a joke. My dad hates Arby's. And me. Loves
And that's Daniel Magden, Fort Worth Hyenas.
me.
Don't you hate that groan? Like, what does
It's
that even
the
mean at
worst.
the end? What does that groan even mean?
If I'm saying it, then you shouldn't have to groan.
and especially
Like,
if it's not about a wide, it's about your personal life.
Yeah. I hate that. Like, I hate when people, like, because I don't say anything, like, necessarily offensive or anything. Like, that
No.
joke's probably the most offensive thing I say on stage. And people always, like, will give me groans with that, or, like, when I talk about, like, my mom having dementia and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's
Which
like...
you have a really, really good joke about.
Oh, thank you. But people, like, will get, like, all upset about that. But it's like, if I can say it, you can laugh about it. Like,
If anything, it's supposed to be therapeutic to you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it literally...
It's like when I saw my first lady in half, and Real gross.
And then
Yeah.
she died.
People screamed.
There will be casualties. Your Danny's mom or the lady you saw didn't have.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah,
Tony.
It was. I didn't want to say his name, but it was.
Tony was the other
yeah,
comic?
Tony was the other comic.
Dang, Tony.
I was trying to be nice, Tony. But all right.
And we're
Tony
hot.
getting all hungover.
And we're hot. And Tony's proud of seeing his son on the radio.
Is that supposed to be me?
Thank you, two people.
Tony, we
for
started
watching.
doing comedy on the same day.
Oh, he called you his son, Tony?
I think.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe y'all
Like
each
literally,
That's the
we
weirdest
started on the
relationship.
same day.
Did y'all? Were y'all friends?
Maybe he means it.
before?
No,
Maybe he means it in like a cute way, you know.
I guess like a
Pet name.
Well, no. The first time I went to Hyenas, he was there, and we sat next to each other, and we were just making fun of like all the comics that were up that night, because that's what you do at an open mic when you're bad at comedy. And like we just kind of became friends, and then he just happened to live like pretty close to me.
And how long have you felt this way
about Tony?
I don't feel anyway. I don't care.
When did you first feel like you were getting sunned?
Okay.
Like I was getting sunned.
I do have a serious question talking about like the groans and the personal stuff. I mean, a lot of your material centralizes around, like struggles, growing up, family struggles. Even anywhere from financial to just like personal issues,
because you haven't always been rich.
No, I'm rich. I'm very rich right now.
You're rich and
Make
laughs.
no mistake, guys.
But you definitely like. You had a blue collar upbringing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up in Caledonia, Missouri, which is a town of 100
wow, that
people.
sounds
100 people
How do you
live there.
what is it?
Caledonia, Missouri.
You know, when you first start saying that, people like get really excited. I'm like, oh, Danny's from like somewhere
It's
really
not a
cool
real
in California.
place. No, Caledonia.
Okay.
It was that, and then we had a village called Belgrade. They called it
Wow.
a village, which had 70-something people, if I remember right.
Oh, okay.
And it was not a good place to live.
Oh,
there was a Walmart maybe 30 miles away. That people
that was like the rec center.
Yes,
that's
that
the
was,
YMCA.
That
of
was the
village.
big weekend event
of the village. Is
Absolutely.
the Walmart trip.
We we didn't even have a movie theater for like 40 miles away from us. Like I didn't see a movie like for most of my childhood.
What?
It was like going to the movies was like some big deal.
When was your first time you went to the movies?
That I remember. I went to visit some family in like Iowa, and they took me to see. I think it was Transformers 2.
He just saw it.
What? Transformers 2?
That was one of the first movies I
movie.
remember seeing in the theater. Yeah.
How old are you?
I was like, right now I'm 21. I was probably like
oh, okay.
10
I was
or
to say,
11.
but still,
I saw Jungle to Jungle.
Still,
in
dude.
I don't even know what that is.
I know it's
What
Tim
is-
Allen's best.
hang on, let me look up when Transformers 2 came out though, because I mean, still that was how
I
old
mean,
were
I'm-
you
I
when you
was-
saw that?
I don't remember. I'm sure I saw other movies for that, but that's
Transformers?
the first like big memory I have of seeing.
So
a
that
movie.
was 2009. When were you born?
2009. Well, maybe that wasn't. I was born in '96, so
What?
I guess yeah. Wait, I'm sure I saw other movies for
Holy.
that. One of my first memories was seeing Transformers 2, like of going
13
to the
years
movies.
old.
Yeah.
One of your first memories of going to a movie is 13 years old.
So
Yeah,
you're
that was
like
a
smack
big
dab
deal.
in the middle of like being a millennial, or you are a millennial.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a
I mean,
millennial.
I
He
guess
absolutely
so.
is.
Yeah.
You are too.
Technically.
Technically,
Yeah,
I think
you
the
are.
cutoff's like 85 or like 90.
Yeah,
you were
no.
born in
Today I
85.
I
I
literally
thought you meant the age of 85.
no.
My
I
grandpa's a millennial.
I literally saw someone who's 41 today on Facebook saying how like us millennials need to stick together. Da, 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 da. And like
If you-
I'm sick of
Wow.
everybody. And I was about to say, wait, didn't you just celebrate 41?
What would
You
you
remember-
call that? Ginsplaining? Is that what
If you remember when Family Matters was on TV, I don't consider you a millennial.
Yeah,
Is
I
that- I
definitely
don't-
remember.
See, I don't.
I don't.
I was
don't remember.
grounded from watching
You didn't.
Family Matters. Yeah,
That was the one with
and
Urkel,
Full
right?
House.
That's the Urkel one.
There was
right?
like a-
I hardly watched
See,
Family Matters.
There
I
was
didn't
like a
it.
block of TV where they would play like Full House, Step by Step, Family Matters, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and that was like
I know
and
two of
Fresh
these
Prince.
shows.
And
Three.
so I'd watch all like 7 of these shows like for 2 hours.
What are you doing with your hands? They keep getting
So,
bigger. Stop.
Fresh
So in
Prince,
Boy Meets World,
Hanging
come
with Mr.
on.
Busting me
Cooper.
out.
Oh, Boy Meets World.
That's what I
yes.
was gonna say. Was Boy Meets World
Or
but
the
I
new
feel like-
one, Boy Meets Girl.
No, it's Girl Meets World now.
Oh.
Boy Meets Girl is a whole different.
They're switching it
A
up.
whole different thing. They're not showing on Disney Channel. That's for sure.
I-
So I mean, what do you think? That's like a. I mean, that's a pretty. I don't know. A lot of comics like to talk about like how bad they have it. You know, it's almost
Yeah.
where it's like a crutch and it's like a thing that like they're sitting on to be
Absolutely.
funny. Do you find that like an annoyance at all? Because I mean,
Yeah.
as someone who like you had some struggles growing up, obviously.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's like I don't like to talk about my life as if it was like, look how sad I am, guys.
It's more like, look how sunburned I got.
Yeah, it's like, because I think
ginger joke.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some letters, Richie.
Gonna get sued.
There's like
Sorry.
9 of us waiting out back.
But I mean, it's like, okay, so inherently a lot of us do this because there's something missing.
It's a
like,
bit of
there's
a crutch,
something
yeah.
There's something that we don't necessarily have in life, and so you have to seek some like sense of validation from all these strangers, right?
Yeah.
But I think once people get really heavily involved I mean, you know, I deal with my own anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I try not to lean on it because I also realize, you know, people don't necessarily always want to hear about
Yeah, people are going to watch comedy, especially like at the club and stuff. People are going to the club because they
To
want
forget that stuff.
Exactly, they want to have a good time.
Same, I think, with politics, the news.
Absolutely.
Like, people don't want it.
No one-
They don't want you to be the extension of the news.
Exactly,
you know?
like they're going there to get away from all of the crappy things they have to deal with, and then you have some.
It's an entertainment. It's
Yeah, exactly. Then you have some
distraction piece.
20-year-old kid on there talking about how sad their life is.
Right.
Like, no one wants that.
I guess it's one of those things. It's all about balance, you know.
But,
because
I mean-
inherently, comedy though comes from like a dark place. I mean,
Yeah.
you do hip hop, and a
Yeah.
lot of that comes from like.
I
dark
mean,
places
but that's the
inherently.
thing is, I
But-
remember growing up. I remember growing up, and I'd been rapping since I was like 10 or 11, and I was like 12 or 13. I remember my life being like pretty decent and good,
Yeah.
you know, and all this stuff. And I was like, dang, like I need some struggle, you know. So I really
You
pushed.
sought the struggle.
Yeah,
because
I
of-
manipulated some situations. Got my parents divorced. You know,
Joined a
all
couple
these things,
gangs.
yeah, all these things that
sawed a couple women in half.
yeah, so now when people look back at my life, they're like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh,
like
the
Yeah, the
you
struggle.
really persevered." But people don't realize that
It's all your fault.
I
See-
made it appear like
I think too many people sit on that as like a crutch, the dark thing, especially within comedy. But I think inherently it comes from a dark place. It's just how you twist and turn it,
Yeah.
so
It's
that
outlet.
it shines a light.
It's
so
all about
that it's
context.
therapeutic for everyone in the room. You know what I mean? It's
It's
not
an
just
outlet.
you up there doing you.
Yeah.
But also, I think some of the best comics. I mean, and you know, I'm not saying. I mean, Seinfeld's one of the most successful of all time. He came from a very boring.
Exactly.
And that kind of also forces.
And that's
you.
why, like,
I had a little bit of that, you know. I had my own emotional, mental stuff, but like growing up, you know, I grew up in like in a very a white suburb, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it was very boring, just very bland, and you kind of have to make fun in situations like that because it's not a very fun
Yeah,
place. You know
like,
what I mean?
and to
You
me-
see a lot of stupidity and a lot of things that people care about, things that don't matter.
Your parents
and
are-
that made me angry.
your
You know what I mean?
parents are
That's what
married,
made me
right?
sad. That's what made me depressed was other people. Yeah.
your parents are married, right?
Yeah.
what's
So
that like?
so right. So my parents
Tell.
are divorced.
Do
And have
tell.
been divorced since I was a kid. So like, me imagining like a white suburban family with both people married and eating with your kids, like that has to be so uncomfortable.
I
for the
can't
kids.
comprehend that.
Why is
way.
it uncomfortable for the kid?
Cause like I'd be
Because
like,
you didn't grow up in that situation.
Because I'd be like cussing and stuff. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I was not the kid that could sit there at the table and
Well,
have
I'm
like
still the
a-
brother that does that, and I'm
Yeah.
don't act. You know, I'm still my little brother is not. My little brother is.
Well, you have two brothers, right?
No, I have one little brother. He's graduating from A&M. He is a youth minister.
Oh boy.
He is the entire opposite end of the spectrum of me.
So
and I
they
mean,
got one good kid out of it.
Yeah, our
So I
family's
think-
still cool. You
But
know,
there's still
like,
hope for his brother.
I have a fairly cool family. I mean, you know, it was a boring upbringing, so I found the ways to like find my entertainment and not, you know what I mean, kill myself of boredom. But in the same breath, I also see like a lot of those families in those upbringings.
Yeah.
You know, like they almost like a lot of those situations. Some of those people are tied together because of money or
Yeah.
reasons they don't want to
Yeah.
be together, and the family becomes despondent and
Yeah.
like distant. And sometimes that's like you said, that's uncomfortable for
Yeah.
the kids. That's
well,
like,
honestly, like to be
where
honest,
you can hear the knife
Yeah.
cutting on the plate.
To
you
be
know?
honest, I mean, I had like my life story is pretty insane. Just the little crazy things that happened in my life, but
I thought we were about
I
to go under.
always envied.
Thank God.
I always envied the. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what that would be like. Like, you know, I have no idea what it would be like to have like both your parents
Well,
be like,
hey,
"Hey,
dude,
how was
come-
lunch? Oh, it was
That's-
great." Or
I
"What
would
you
get
do at
so
work?"
uncomfortable.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
My
I
family's
know.
never asked me how my day was.
Yeah.
Like that's
Anytime someone asks me how my day is, I go, "Are you genuinely asking
am
me?
I
or-
sick?
Or
What's
can I
happening
just
right
say
now?
good?"
Man, what if we did a project for the show? What if you lived with my parents for like a week?
See, here's the thing. It seems
3 days.
crazy,
3
but your
days.
parents would love me.
Yeah, I know.
Like
And we could
everybody
get them
thinks
on
like
after.
Richie would just love to be there for
people would
free.
be like, you know what? It would be really crazy.
Wait. Do you think you could get my parents to love you more than they love me?
Easy.
In the same.
I'm a psychological mastermind. Like I do things.
All right.
I make fun of you and like, yeah, Joey should have went to college. Huh? And you're like, yeah, you should have, shouldn't he? Oh yeah, I tried to talk him into it, but he didn't want to go.
Hey, I don't even need time with him. I've had 26 years. Can we somehow set up just one weekend, a Friday, Saturday? You stay there. And then we get my parents on after to talk about it, even over the phone. Even over the phone.
So
and we do a challenge.
I had a friend
But live at their house as if you would be living in
But
your
how?
own.
Yeah.
Like,
How would we gauge? Here's the thing: is how would we gauge if they love you more than me? There has to be some kind of barometer, right?
I mean,
some kind of Richter
they'll
scale.
tell you.
Ask
They'll
them to
say
co-sign
right off the bat.
alone. Ask them to co-sign.
Well, here's how it is.
No.
my friend.
My mom's a sweetheart and a liar. She would never.
I was hanging out with my friend one time, and she was like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "I'm just hanging out. I don't have work or anything." And this was back when I was like a bad boy, just doing bad stuff.
Yeah.
No, but she goes, you want to play? She goes, you want to play a funny game? And I was like, yeah, what? And she was like, Mom, meet my new boyfriend. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, come to my parents' house and have dinner with us, and I'm just gonna say that you're my new boyfriend and just act crazy. And so. Right when I showed up, I immediately saw
no one's winning.
the parents like be like, "Hey, what's
a
up?"
Day in the life of Richie.
Because I was just dressed all like poorly, and my hair was all crazy. And
I couldn't
walked in.
imagine that.
Yeah,
You didn't wear your blazer from yesterday that
No.
you wore over your pajamas.
but I walk in.
He
I walk
performed in a blazer and pajamas yesterday.
Yeah, I actually.
I wouldn't expect anything.
My
else.
greatest trick yesterday that I pulled was the fact that I convinced people that I was wearing slacks, but
All right.
they were just sweatpants.
Anyway, you went to the girls.
Yeah. No, so I went to her parents' house.
Master of illusion.
And right off the bat, her dad's like, hey. And they're all like dressed nice in this house that there's a room that you can't even go in because they have white carpet. But it's a room that's so inviting that you want to go in it. But they're like, oh,
why would they have that room then? I don't
It's
understand.
one of
I don't
those.
know.
No.
Yeah, he
that's-
has a room like in his
Who
house.
has spare room?
That's a rich white people
One day
thing.
I go-
that's a middle. That's a.
One time I told Joe, I go, hey, you remember when
my mom had that room. My mom had that room.
I go, Joe, you remember when you were a kid?
Not
like,
anymore.
You would leave something upstairs and you had to go all the way back up to get it. And he's like, yeah. I was like, I have no idea that that's a thing. I had no
Why?
idea.
Because you
What's
didn't
that
have stairs.
about?
'Cause
Yeah.
you didn't have stairs.
But I knew
I didn't
you
have
had
stairs. I didn't have stairs until my second house when we moved out here to the DFW.
Yeah.
When my family originally lived in West Texas, it was a single story. But my mom did have one of those rooms. It had a TV. It had
Yeah.
all these nice china, nice couches. You know,
The best
pillows.
couch.
I was never allowed in that room. Sorry for my
Yeah,
voice.
no, so we're there and like.
Your parents were probably doing some crazy stuff in there. They just didn't want you to know about.
She told me
I
before.
don't think so. It was so well kept. You know,
she
it was
told
like
me
a little
before. Like,
dollhouse.
don't tell my parents that we like go out at night and like that I drink. They don't think I drink that much and like.
Wait, so
don't
were
tell
you
them I
actually
smoke
this
cigarettes.
girl's boyfriend?
No, we were just
That's
friends.
right. Okay, that's
and so we go and dude, the dad. Right, I just do this thing with parents where I start picking on the kid.
Yeah, you're the what is it on Leave It to Beaver? You're the Eddie Haskell.
Yeah, there's this where I'm just like
Richie Haskell.
I was like, dang, don't you wish she would have just finished her trade school stuff? And I was like, yeah, Richie, you got a good point. You know, Cecilia, talk to Richie about it. And I'm like,
did you just name
wait,
drop
her
her?
name's Cecilia? No, I made up a name. That was what I came up with.
That's a very odd name to just make
Right?
up.
All right, wait. So could we
So at
figure
the
this
end of
out?
it,
Hey,
the parents loved me.
After Christmas, like when stuff cools down for my family, would you stay a weekend?
Yeah, I got it.
You would, and you have to have dinner. There would have to be like guidelines, and we would have to like
Weekend
we
at
would have to make the
coffees?
guidelines on the show. You would have to be almost recording on your phone so we could hear the table conversation. My parents after would think it's hilarious. We'd get them to sign some waivers, and then we see who loves who more.
We've never had a magician in the house.
Who never had a talented
That's just what I
son?
mean.
What's this about?
Oh man, are you a Tom Petty fan? My dad's like a Tom
Dude,
Petty.
I don't know any music, but
Okay, well,
your
you
dad
could-
will think I'm the biggest
You could
Tom
BS
Petty
with
fan.
the best of them. I know you could.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
I don't know if you could trick him.
Have
He's
you ever
like
heard
huge.
of Crispin Glover?
Tom Petty, my dad. Have you ever heard of
I hear he's doing pretty well.
I'll get your dad to love Crispin
Crispin
Glover as much as I love Tom Petty.
Dude, can we do this? Would that be Jake? What are the
I'd
are there
watch
any
that.
are there any issues with something like this?
Dude, not at all. Please do
Please
this.
do
I'm begging.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. That would be a
Well, here's the
wonderful
thing.
bit.
Here's the thing where you don't understand. Like, I also changed these parents because I've had probably some of the deepest conversations with like people's parents or like people who like their kid they're like my friend leaves for a second. I'm just sitting there with the parents. I'm like, yeah, so is everything good between y'all? And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'll just be like, I don't know. I just kind of noticed like a little weird tension. It's
How's
not a
your
big
marriage?
thing. Yeah. And next thing you know, I'm their marriage counselor, and they're like,
If you get my
bring Richie back over here every day.
If you get my parents divorced, it better make my
no,
comedy
it won't.
career
But
funnier.
I will do your parents?
I better get funnier.
Do your parents use swear words around the house?
Not
Not that
situational,
much.
not that much.
They'll be when you next time you go, you're like, dang mom, what are you saying all these cuss words?
Dang
for?
mom, I'll be saying dang
You'll
mom
be
in
saying
response
dang mom.
to her
She's
vulgarity.
Like, yeah.
So how would I pitch this to them? How would we make them think you're staying with them for this week? This strange man that looks like you.
Hey, so you guys know my friend Richie? He hangs a lot on streets and stuff.
And
He
I'm
does
sure
magic.
my mom is on Facebook, so I'm sure she has she's came by this thing that we're doing right here
Do your
before.
parents listen to this?
No. I think one time my mom told me that she tuned in, and I do think it was the DDT episode.
That was the worst time for it.
One of the most like in your face. It was hilarious. Oh man, no. What would be the angle there?
I think we would say, hey, mom, I have a friend who is a foreign exchange student, and he's coming here from Ireland.
Okay.
And his buddy Richie.
Okay.
You'll be the Irish guy.
Okay, I could do that.
His buddy Richie needs a place to crash, and I told him he could stay at the house for 2 days, and he's just gonna kind of hang out with you and Dad because he really. Oh, I could be doing a report on
me.
I think
married
we should
couples.
I think we should just leave him at the doorstep and ring the doorbell and
in a
run
basket,
away.
just in a basket, just on a rainy night. On a rainy night,
I'm just like in a really big. Do it on Christmas night.
Has a bottle of Jack in his hands.
Problem child him.
Just put me in a big stocking.
You kind of look like Problem Child.
I've never seen. What is that?
Oh wow. Anyway,
Is that a
Do you know
movie?
Poster Child?
Is it Problem Child, the little redheaded kid that
Is
like
that-
it has
Wait, is that the one about like the Antichrist or some? It's one of those.
No, that's
movies.
The Omen.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking of.
Let me see. if
I've
it's
gotten that
Problem.
before. I've gotten that I look like the kid from Omen. Before.
What's an angle?
You oh man, we
I
need
look
to
like
come-
so many different children.
Jake, you have any good angles? How could we get my parents in on
Dude,
this?
my head is racing because
Right.
I'm in for whatever you, if I need to call and be like a tax attorney or something like whatever I got to do.
All right.
Can we look
Excellent.
at this picture? Is this the thing that
Who,
people can see?
you're just zooming in on that's Fallout, the video game. People know who
That's
you're talking
not.
about.
Yeah, that's.
He's blonde. That's a
I
little.
know
that's
he's
not even
blonde.
That's a little
close.
Nazi
But
boy.
the face, you have the same triangle nose
and round face
and eyebrows.
Wow.
Who
You're
does
so full of compliments today. You
Do
look
you-
like a chia pet. Don't worry, I got you, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
no,
I
and
have
the
nothing.
3 fingers. The fact do this.
I mean, like, why are we going on the radio to talk about what I look like?
What do you look like?
That's
That's the biggest question right now.
for all they know. For all the people not watching this, I could be a 6'2"
You could be
black
huge.
man,
You could be.
You
yeah.
are.
and I am in my dreams, and in NBA
And the
2K16.
NBA 2K16.
Speaking of dreams,
Do you make
really
a black
quick,
guy when you play?
No. I make someone who looks like me, and then I regret it forever.
I'm gonna be
He's
honest.
the
I never
worst
do
player.
That. I don't.
It's pretty bad.
I just make up a dude because I know the game would just like if you make a white Joey Johnson or Joe Coffey, they're like, no, he's
See,
not.
I-
They're gonna bump my stats down. You know, I'm gonna put my speed at a 73. I can't have that.
Joey Johnson from Flower Mound.
Yeah,
like,
Joe
he's
Coffey.
playing for the Pistons.
Man, we'll think of the angle. That's something we're gonna do. I think in a future
Yeah.
episode. Would you actually be down? Is this something you're saying right now? See, I think when it comes down to it, you wouldn't want to stay at my parents for a weekend in Flower Mound.
I would.
Where would
though.
he sleep?
In my old bed.
Oh, okay.
It's really comfortable too. It's a big.
You have an
bed.
old bed?
No, it's not old. It's my old bed, but it's not an old bed. You know, it's
Like an old dusty
decent
bed.
bed. It's a decent. You wanna get onto some weird news, and we'll do some plugs, and then we'll get out.
Yeah.
Weird news drop today
Has it been an
by
hour
Richie
already?
Flo. Richie has
Oh,
a
boy.
special weird news drop.
Today it's weird news, and we're here to read it to you from
Yeah.
the newspaper.
Paper.
From the newspaper.
Paper.
Okay, so weird news today. I pulled up some super last. So yeah, Problem Child. He looks like Michael Oliver and John Ritter was in it. Who was the back? Gilbert Godfrey. was in it?
Godfrey. Why is he the hardest voice to do?
Oh, the bad guy I think was Michael Richards too.
My theater art
Still
teacher
a
in
bad guy.
school, her claim to fame was that she was John Ritter's cousin, right? So she would be like, oh, there's 3 facts about me. 1, I was in the movie DOA. 2, my cousin's John Ritter. And 3, I was an extra in Titanic. So we had to figure out which one was a lie and which ones were true.
Yeah.
She wasn't in Titanic, but her cousin was John Ritter, and she was in the movie DOA, right? Well,
those Ritter
she tells us
connections will
that
get you far.
she tells us that a
those are
week
some
later,
credits right there.
a week later, John Ritter dies, and
Oh,
she
wow.
is devastated. And I'm
Oh,
just
wow.
like, to his company, to.
Oh my God. Okay. A 28-year-old woman from New York is accused of robbing a bank while leaving her 6-year-old daughter to wait in a taxi. According to ABC, Danny, it's like your origin story.
Yeah, it's Brooklyn.
This is hitting close. According to ABC News, Diana Marini handed a bank teller a note demanding cash around 1 p.m. I'm sorry, the whole, like, that is like such a modern movie. The handing the bank teller the note.
I want to see that note because I'm sure she misspelled some stuff.
there's like some
Can
scribbles.
we proofread this note? We need to stop robbing banks. I'm taking a stance on that.
Oh wow,
too.
you're so brave.
I'm
No swords.
anti-bank robbery.
Okay, no bank robbery.
This is some pretty controversial stuff.
No,
yeah, you really need to stop
And I'm
pushing
not-
these hot takes on
I'm
my
actually
show.
pro sword now. I've thought about it. I've had some time to think about it. Pro sword. Everybody, get your sword. Get your sword.
Got swords right here.
As many as you can get. Get them while they're hot. You should sell them by
She
4
handed
packs.
a bank teller a note demanding cash around 1 p.m. Saturday. Again, what is the note? That's not a very aggressive. Like, if I'm a bank teller and I'm handed this, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna like wink at them, go to the back,
Give
call
it
the
10
cops.
years.
They have the little button under the
If they
thing.
just
too.
have the note, that means they don't have.
They
the
have
gun.
a button under the desk. They just push, and then it sets off. It
Exactly.
like calls the police.
In 10 years,
So
it's
what's a
going to be
note?
like, he just slid over the iPad, which said...
With the send her a telegraphic message once we have the chips in our arms. You know?
I got to airdrop you this real quick.
Once they
He
chip
opened
us,
his
I gotta
notes.
airdrop you this ransom.
He opened his notebook in his iPhone and sent her a
scrolled.
message.
He's like, wait,
and
that's
told
it.
her to scroll down.
Tweeted her.
That's what the emails really were.
Well, here's after the
He
teller
tweeted the bank,
gave
give me all your money.
after the teller gave Marini, the bank robber, the cash. She fled in the so just like said, they give him the cash, then they're gonna get pulled
Yeah.
over. And what does the taxi driver do? Do you think he's in on this? Obviously, I mean, not.
Or maybe
He has
that's a good like out. Like, oh, it's just a taxi
If
driver.
she can afford a taxi,
Also-
I think she's doing fine.
Yeah.
I don't think she
In New
needs
York
to rob
City,
a
right?
bank.
Here's what we
Yeah.
need, though. Like,
Been in a
we all
taxi.
know, like, if you were going to rob a bank, think about this. You'd be standing in line. You'd be
Yeah.
freaking out inside. You're like, okay, should I do this? Should I not do this? This is a bad idea. This might be a good idea. This is a
Was the
terrible
note-
idea.
was the note a good
Everything in
angle?
life is going to go bad for me after this. I'm going to be in jail forever. Oh, this is a great idea.
Uh-huh.
Oh, da, da. So then you finally get up to the thing and you push the note. So you're in all this, like, pressure. They should just give you like a bunch of stacks of fake money and just put it in the thing, and you're like, "Here, take all this $1,000,000 dollars." So they're like, "Oh my god, I got."
Thank you. We have too
Yeah.
many.
And then
this
they
guy-
just giving out
we have too
counterfeit money.
much.
That's so many felonies.
Exactly.
Also, if I'm a taxi driver and you're telling me wait 1 second and you're leaving the baby in the taxi, I'm not settling for that,
It's
right?
not a-
There's no way.
It'd be really funny if the taxi driver took the kid while she was
or
in the bank.
that would be a good way to once again problem child someone. Just leave them in the taxi and then never come back, and have the taxi driver stuck with.
If only my dad could afford a taxi.
Yeah.
I'd be living with some Nigerian man, I'm sure.
Well, when police apprehended the vehicle, they found Marini and her daughter inside. Marini is charged with robbery and endangering the welfare of a child. Wow, that was.
I mean, robbing a bank, you don't. I understand it's insured money and all that.
Yeah.
Like, but a bank is so like regal.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to like rob a Sherwin-Williams, right? Or a Burger
Nice.
King.
Jamie's
Yeah,
waving at
Jamie's
us. Hi,
waving.
Jamie.
I was trying to ignore him. I didn't want to.
Oh, is
No,
that Jamie?
that
I thought
is
it was
Jamie.
Sanford Black.
You can't hear us? Can't hear us out there?
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, you
Can
can't
you hear
hear
us
us,
now?
Sanford?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well,
Nope.
you guys see
I think he's
Sanford.
just lying to
Oh,
us.
he's trolling
acting chops. All right.
Control room.
What were
I
you saying?
get it.
Bank so regal?
No, banks are so regal. So like,
Okay,
no,
Bernie.
No, I'm just not like imagining like
Bernie Flo.
having the goal. I think we can use goal as in GULL, not the goal as in GOLL.
Yeah.
Like the goal.
Mm-hmm.
I am more
Okay.
confused.
I don't know. Where are you going with this?
I just
Do you have anywhere to
I'm
go?
not trying to rob a bank, guys.
Okay, I'm proud of
I'm
you.
saying that communism's the only true way. That's what
Yeah.
I'm.
Next story, a 10-acre desert ranch is up for grabs in Arizona with unique property listed as featuring an in-ground swimming pool, a hay barn, and a constant stream of, that's right, extraterrestrials
I heard about
that
this,
travel
yeah.
through a backyard portal. You heard about
This is the third time this guy's tried to sell this house.
Really?
At first it was like for like $200,000, and then he's like, you know what? It's $5 million now. There were aliens, guys.
Okay, so wait, when did you hear about that? How long ago was that?
I saw it on Reddit probably within the past week.
Okay, so wait, it slowed down for a bit. All right,
Unless
it's
there's
back.
another guy with an alien ranch. And that's the case, we should be investing.
Well, it's weird how trends happen, though. There's like one
Yeah.
guy with an alien ranch, and then there's 20
then all of a sudden
alien
everybody
ranch
has an
people.
alien ranch.
Me too. No.
The Stardust Ranch in Rainbow Valley, which was featured on the Travel Channel, so yeah, you probably have heard about this in Ghost Adventures in 2016, is on the market for a cool $5 million, Daniel. You're rich.
Oh, boy.
After its current owner said he grew tired of fighting off aliens' malevolent abductions. I am losing my throat is really
The
killing me now.
Aliens Alliance. I like that.
In another interview, he says he claims he killed a bunch of them with a samurai sword.
Oh, yeah. Here we go, Richie. Here we go. Yes. Quote, almost immediately from the day we moved in, we began to have strange experiences. Owner John Edmonds told the Phoenix Station. Over the last 20 years, Edmond claims that he has been abducted and had medical experiments performed on him by the aliens and even had to slay a few in samurai sword fights.
I don't believe
that's a good reason. That's where swords.
I'll fight till the death for his right to hold a sword.
But I don't.
As
will
of the
fight
past
with a
10
sword
minutes.
for his right. To fight
but
with
I
a
don't
sword.
believe him about the aliens.
It's one or the other, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'll defend his right to have the swords, but I don't believe him about the aliens.
How bad are these aliens that they're getting killed with a trailer man with a samurai?
They don't have lightsabers?
I mean, I understand, though. The thing is, we're thinking like, a samurai sword that we know about would never do that, but he's probably using samurai swords that are using
some type of
30,000, like year 3000 technology.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's why he needs to sell this ranch for $5 million.
He's
He's got
so he can buy more swords.
Yeah, more high-tech alien swords.
You wouldn't shoot an alien with a human bullet. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't you?
Why
You
not?
could kill
I
with
would
a
try
human
that more
sword?
with a
You
sword.
need a laser ray with plasma.
Clearly, duh.
Duh.
Only
Hey,
a moron
banks
would
are
know
so
that.
regal, and you have to shoot aliens with lasers.
Yeah.
Noted.
I bet you could get that guy on the show.
Oh, probably that'd be sweet. Oh, that would be amazing.
He seems like the type that just wants any
Just would
attention.
come- yeah.
Like,
We've gotten a few of those. Danny. As exciting as it may all sound, he said it has not been a positive experience for him as he purchased the property to take care of rescue horses. Instead, he claims the animals have harmed not only him and his wife, but the animals. Quote, I saved from the time I was 8 years old on to buy a horse ranch. Man, that is some goals right there. Saving for since you're 8 years old to
for
buy
a
it.
horse, for a used horse ranch.
But
Like,
what does
he
that
knew.
mean? That from 8 till then he never spent any of that money from 8?
Oh wow, this
This
is
is my
hilarious.
horse
Hey
money.
Richie, wait. Okay, continue to read that quote and read it in like a redneck accent.
I say from the time I was 8 years old on to buy a horse ranch, and when I buy a horse ranch, I buy an alien hellhole.
All right, that wasn't as good as I thought it would be. That was pretty terrible.
I'm actually not from the Midwest.
When I buy a
Man,
horse
Deliverance
ranch,
doesn't hold up like I thought it did.
I buy an alien hellhole. Like, that's hilarious. It's not like you can say, well, I screwed up. I'll just dump it and go get another one.
That's what he's trying to do.
He's posted photos on Facebook that show some of the physical injuries and scars he claims aliens have left him with. One such shows photos, dents and scratches on his leg, which he describes as wounds from a battle with a malevolent ET. That's why I want to move, he wrote. That's the caption. It's a picture. Oh, I wish I would have sent this to Jake.
Oh,
this man
one?
has a dent in his leg, and the caption is, "This is why I want to move!" Exclamation point. That's hilarious.
Well, that's why I want to move in.
Another photo shows a samurai sword lying across what he claims to be alien blood on the ground. So he had to kill something, you know. Which
Yeah,
is even
something
scarier.
died at this man's
Yeah,
hands, and that's what we should be
That's what we should be reporting.
Well,
what?
No,
What,
I mean,
Richie? Come on.
aliens, once they die, they usually melt
He
to
wrote
the floor
that
and
the
then
ET he
vaporize.
sliced was able to get away because he didn't dislocate an antenna on its head, which apparently isn't easy to do. His wife
It has its own weakness.
has also had like a Zelda game. His wife has also had her share of experiences. She's been levitated out of the bed, this and that. Anyway, there's a listing on HuffPo, somewhere on the internet. $5 million, people.
If you got it, send it to my GoFundMe.
They don't know where the portal is, but they think there's a portal that's bringing them in. You think he's lying?
No, I think there might be, some truth. Like,
let me give you a metaphor. Whenever we have shampoo companies that use mice and do experiments on them, they don't then again release that mouse into the wild.
What if we're the mice?
They wouldn't release us back into the wild. They would keep us.
Is this a Jaden Smith tweet? What is this?
No, it's true though. We're intergalactic and we're planetary.
Yeah, we're just specks of dust under a giant's toenail.
Whoa.
Mind blown, dude. Oh, my God. All right, Danny, any plugs?
I will be hosting a showcase at Hyenas Comedy Club in Dallas on this Sunday. Tickets are $5. I understand if you're not there. I'm also be doing 2 Brave Boys podcasts. Pretty great show. I'll be doing that on the 20th, I think. And I'm unemployed.
Yeah,
so that's it for me.
So get Danny a job. Richie, plug.
November 4th, I believe, at Killers. If I'm not for certain, I'll write it and correct that. But also November 25th, I'll be at Andy's. I'm going to be at the Faucet November 16th, and then November 10th. Everybody knows that they can catch me. Right
Everybody
here.
knows.
Everybody
on the courthouse where I do my street slam poetry, which is made up on the spot, and I may or may not actually be out there.
Not true.
I hear good things.
I may or may not actually be out there.
And also, I'm going to start writing for the Wellington Tribune.
Okay.
So. Thank you.
I will be plugging on the 7th, this next Tuesday, Backyard on Bell. Me, Mana, Javoris, and Brett Crow. There will be a show, essentially, Backyard on Bell. Come see some jokes. I believe that starts around 8:30, Backyard on Bell. The 7th, and then the 12th, on my birthday, I should be doing a guest spot for Pauly Shore if I don't get burned
guest spot
there.
for Pauly Shore.
Don't get burned there. That'll be at Hyenas.
Always
in
trust
Plano.
comedy clubs.
Yeah. Also, just something to leave everyone with. If you're gonna go out and scuba at all, check your tanks, man. I don't
Check those tanks.
I want to get some oxygen.
Nobody knows on the podcast app on your phone, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Joe _Coffee_ on Twitter, whatever Richie's Twitter is. Daniel's is Magden Daniel.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Real creative.
So, yeah, thank you. Episode 25. We did it until we get fired. Danny, appreciate it, man.
Thanks man, for having me. I appreciate it.
Later,
awesome.
guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.